Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education. And that includes my very special guest today, Tito, who was waiting tables and working in warehouses when he found my course, and he was not happy in these careers. He took my course, and within just 4 months, he got his first digital marketing job, making $60,000 a year. He loves his new job, and I'm very excited to share his story with you. Thanks for being here, Tito.
Hey Seth, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and I'm happy to be part of your alumni. I went from being a student to now working in the field, so I'm excited.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to talk to you too, and I'm very happy for you. So let's get into it. Why don't you tell people about your current job that you have right now?
Yeah, so I'm an SEM analyst, search engine marketer, and I work in an agency in New York City. I work 4 days remote and then 1 day I'm in the office.
That's so great. And you requested that, right? Then what did they offer you remote, or did they say you have to come into the office?
Yeah, that was a really cool thing about this agency. They were really chill. They asked me, "Hey, you got the job. Last thing, do you want to be in the office? Do you want to be on site or do you want to be remote?" And I asked them, "How does remote look like?" And they told me, "You could be just in on once a week." And I said, "Yeah, I'll take that. That sounds awesome." Because I also heard of the perks and I wanted to do that. So it's great.
That's so cool, man. I think it's the perfect balance because, most of us obviously a lot of people want remote work, but it's also nice to have a connection with people, your coworkers in person if you want it. And then you mentioned some perks. What perks are you talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah. For example, the last three times there was a barbecue food truck for lunch. After that, there was a happy hour with pizza, beer, wine, which was awesome. And then last time there was like alcohol infused ice cream. I had like a mango margarita, which was really good.
That's so cool, man. And that is the culture that people, like about digital marketing. It has that, the Google inspired cool culture where there's some types of person. They like to keep people happy and have some fun. And that's the thing you've heard my other students talk about, that kind of culture. And how much beyond the culture though, how much you actually making at this job?
Yeah, so I'm making 60K a year, which is more than I've made before in any job. So it's awesome.
That is fantastic, man. That is incredible for a first job. And by the way, and how old are you?
Oh, I'm 28.
Okay, yeah, man. So I say to everybody watching these, I repeat it again and again, you guys are much further ahead than I ever was at 28. I was not making that much. I didn't even have a digital marketing job at that point. I was 33 when I got my first job. So you guys are all doing awesome. So obviously everybody wants to know, who's watching the interviews, like how do you go from waiting tables and working in a warehouse? And I want to hear more about what life was like during that time. But how do you go from there to getting this job? What was your life like around the time when you discovered the course?
Yeah, so before I found the course, I was in community college. I was full time in community college, and then I was waiting tables part time, and also I was a warehouse working part time as well. And during this time, this was after COVID. Once COVID had happened, which was way back 2 years ago, to that point, I realized that I wanted to just do something and like do something on the side maybe or just do a side hustle something. And that just kind of started like a seed in me. And then I kind of looked around and I found this YouTuber called Shane Hummus. And he's the one that I remember I saw his feed one day and it said digital marketer makes 60K. And I was like, wow, that sounds interesting. So that's how I found the course pretty much.
That's great, man. Yeah, Shane is a great partner, and he's brought in a lot of really great students. So okay, so you decide you want a new career path, but you're in community college, so you obviously don't have a bachelor's degree yet. Your work experience consists of waiting tables and working in a warehouse. So what happened when you bought the course, and how did you go from that to where you are now?
Yeah, so I took the course. I was super excited about it, and what really inspired me were the testimonials like this. I used to watch these before I bought the course, and I bought the course in I think November 1st. I took the course. I tried to do as much as I could, but I was full time in school, so it was a little bit hard. It was pretty stressful with the two jobs and full time. But I took the course. I finished it in like 2 months. I did everything in the course. Did the resume, updated the LinkedIn, did Google Ads, build my website, and then after those 2 months, I finished it, and then I started applying, and I applied to about 40, 50 jobs, and then I think a month and a half, like a month and a half, or yeah, like a month and a half, I got a reply from a recruiter who ended up being the job that I actually got now.
That's so great, man. I remember you had a lot of energy. As I always say to you guys, like, big part of it is obviously learning the skills, obviously learning how to run the ads, how to do SEO, all these things. But your attitude was, I remember you had that really fire, in your belly attitude. And that's awesome. So you had 40 or so applications, about a month and a half. And again, that's a really good timeline. That's what I tell people, if you sign up, don't expect to get a job immediately. You have to learn the skills, and then you have to be patient. You have to send out a lot of applications. Even if you're a senior person, you have to send out applications, go through that process. So what was that like? What was it like getting the interview with the recruiter and that whole process?
Leading up to the recruiter, I got a couple of the interviews, and then also I got all the rejections. And the rejections, I mean, you tell us in the course that it's part of it, it's gonna happen. But I did feel discouraged once, like, I got different rejections and stuff. But like you say, it's all in the numbers, and you just gotta keep going and keep applying. And I remember when the current job, when they reached out to me, the recruiter was super nice. She was super clear. She was like, "Hey, if we hire you, it's gonna be like from a month from now. So just, keep that in mind." And yeah, when she called me, it was an HR screen, super easy, just to make sure that I at least had a clue about digital marketing, pretty much. And then from there on, I went on 4 different interviews with supervisor, director, and I think a manager. And the rest is history.
That's awesome, man. And that's really good advice for anybody watching, whether you're in the course or not. You cannot let yourself get discouraged from rejections. Or should I say, it's okay to feel discouraged. It's normal. It's like anything in life. Like, it's okay. Like I always use Michael Jordan as one of my favorite examples of success mindset. Somebody asked, I think I posted this quote. There was another basketball player, and I cannot remember his name, who didn't make the finals. And the reporter said, "Are you a failure?" And he was like, basically like, that's a dumb question. This is all about the goal. It's like Michael Jordan played 15 seasons or however many seasons, and he only won a title 6 out of those 15 seasons. So were the other 9 seasons a failure? No, it's all leading you towards your goal. And that's the attitude you want to have. So of course it's okay to feel disappointed, to feel an emotion. It's totally natural. And you should initially, it's okay. Let yourself feel it. The important thing then is to move on and keep applying and understand that it's part of a process. And I've heard it's happened again and again. So then well, first of all, I'm curious, you say the recruiter reached out to you. What do you mean? Did you apply for the job, or were you just on LinkedIn and somebody just, hit you up?
Oh no, I did apply to them, and then they reached back. But besides that, I did have 2 recruiters that actually reached out to me through LinkedIn, just randomly. One of them reached out to me when I wasn't even done with the course, which was super cool. I was like, wow, like this stuff that he says really like works for LinkedIn and interviewing and stuff. So it was really nice to see. But yeah, I applied, and then they reached out.
Got it. And I love that you shared that, because that is it was that when I first started in this field, that was the first thing I noticed that was totally different experience in life ever. Having people approach you and be interested in you because of your skill set. Most people don't have that experience, and it's exciting. And you said you hadn't even, finished the course. You just demonstrated you had the skill sets. And then again, guys, as I've said again and again in the walkthrough videos, I know year after year, our friends at the university system continue to be inept and not teach digital marketing to millions of college students, meaning there's room for you. So then this is a great segue into the interview process. So you said you went through 4 rounds of interviews. Now remember, you'd only had 2 or 4 months of experience from the course. How did those interviews go? Like, this is what a lot of people are concerned about. And I understand people watching the videos who hear about these successes are like, how how could you actually get hired with such little experience? Like, what were they asking you? People are imagining they're asking you like, okay, you have a $2 million budget and there's a deadline and da da da. Like they're like coming down on you with lots of high pressure questions. What were the interviews like? Like try to give us as much detail as you can.
Yeah, when before I got to any interviews, I was actually little bit nervous because I wasn't sure. I thought that I was gonna get questions that I didn't know anything about and everything. But the course, this is why I love the course. Everything is on there. There's questions that help you and scenarios. And when I was in the interview, a lot of the questions I knew most of them. I knew most of them, and there will be simple things like, okay, tell me about mesh types. Do you know what they are? Optimizations from Google, do you recommend them? Manual CPC, what do you do? Do you do what kind of strategy? Things like that. And honestly, it was great. The course really prepared me because I went through, I think, 4 interviews all the way, and then they just chose somebody else because they had, a year more experience or something like that. Yeah. So through all the interviews,
Let me
it
just
felt great.
clarify because I understand you mean previous to the job you got, but you're saying but when you got this job, you went through 4 rounds of interviews, you said, right?
Yeah, for this job, yeah, it was 4 in the HR screen.
Got it, got it. And obviously they picked you with almost no experience for this job.
Yeah, yeah, I had pretty much 3 months, but it was like it was running ads to a volunteer nonprofit that I was doing their ads for.
There you go. Yeah, that's something we talk about in the course. And that's, I love it. You said they asked you about, match types, Google optimizations. What did I teach you? Even in the webinar, I tell you guys, the whole point of this job. Why do these jobs exist? Google tries to control advertisers' spending. It's like, as I say, it's like, let's say you went to the casino, you went to Vegas, and you're at the blackjack table, and you're playing, you're trying to win, and then suddenly the casino, like the pit boss comes over, and he's like, no, you should bet this, you should bet that. Oh, don't bet this, bet that. Would you listen to the casino? No. And that's why these jobs exist, because they need somebody like Tito to actually manage the ads and stop Google from screwing up your account, because Google doesn't care. They're going to make money on your account, no matter whether or not your customer is profitable or not. So obviously the knowledge from the course and your insight was enough to get hired. So what was it like when you actually, got hired? Was it a phone call? Was it an offer letter? Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it's funny. I remember the stages of this whole digital marketing thing. I remember the first time that I found out about your course. I remember the first time that they called me actually. The recruiter called me and she was like, "Hey, I have great news. You got the job." And I was so happy. I couldn't wait to tell my girlfriend, all my friends, because they were all rooting for me, even my coworkers and my warehouse job and the restaurant job. They were all just super happy for me because every step of the way I kind of gave them like progress kind of reports of like, okay, I'm doing my website. Okay, now I'm doing volunteering and now I'm applying, and it was just it's awesome.
That's so awesome, man. And that's really great. I didn't even know that. And I'm really inspired to hear that you had so much support. And I think if you're
Yeah.
taking the course, there's people are in different places in their lives. You know, I did this all by myself when I was learning the skills. And I know there's a lot of students who do have support from their friends and family. There's also students who don't have support. They either have people pushing them to go to college and get a worthless degree, or people don't understand what digital marketing is. So that's why we created this community. That's why there's the Facebook group and alumni like you. And so when you hear Tito's story, be inspired by that, because now Tito is another person that you can reach out to,
Hmm.
and that you can be inspired by. And your friends and family may or may not support you, but there are people who will support you. And I'm very inspired to hear that not only your friends and family, but your coworkers. That's very exciting to hear. That's really cool to hear that your warehouse coworkers were excited too. So when you actually got hired, like, did you have a party or something, or were they just like congratulating you?
Yeah, I did actually. Me and my friends, we always love to watch UFC. So I had like there was a big UFC card, and I just kind of threw it all together and we made steaks and yeah, it was awesome.
That's fantastic, man. And what did your family, did your parents, did they understand what this job is, or were they excited?
No, well, they're very excited, very happy, but they don't really understand it. I think it's gonna take time probably to explain it, maybe a couple of years, but they're very happy. They're super excited because they just wanted me to just get a good job and just to somewhere where I can move up and make money and just take care of myself. And I found it, so they're very
Absolutely,
happy.
yeah. Yeah, man, your parents aren't probably gonna understand it, and it doesn't matter. They're just happy for you. That's all that matters. So now, so you got the job, you're excited, you're happy. Now, now you got to do the job. So what was it like? Again, this is another concern people have. It's like, so you have minimal experience, only a couple months. You got hired by a big agency. By the way, this is Horizon you're working at?
Yeah.
Right. It's really cool. I think Nick Battle, Nick used to work there.
Oh, shoot, really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to talk. My coach, my PPC coach, Nick, worked at
Yeah.
that agency in Manhattan. And if you look at his interview back a few years ago, he's talking about the same agency. So I love it hearing that you guys,
That's a
getting
cool,
hired. It's a
yeah.
big agency. He works on some big accounts. So what was it like, first week on the job, or, what was it like? Were you scared? Were you overwhelmed? Were you excited? What was it like for you?
I was nervous in the beginning because it was, completely new job, but the pace is awesome. It's still awesome. They very slowly, they walked me through what I was gonna do. They pair me up with the senior analyst. Oh, by the way, really cool. My senior analyst is actually from your course. I just found this out like last week.
Really? Who is it?
It's his name is Andrew. He's awesome, man. He's from Cali.
Andrew who?
Andrew Rangel.
Andrew, oh my God, guys.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's an interview. I'll put the link below. It's I interviewed Andrew when he went from working at Target to getting his first agency job. And he was working at an agency that wasn't, it was a great place. A lot of students have worked there in order to get their first experience, but I pushed him. I said,
Mhm.
now you have to leverage up and get a better job. And that was a couple
Nice.
years ago. So I had no idea he was working there. That's
Oh yeah.
really amazing. That is incredible. How did you guys find out you both took the course?
It's so cool. So he was walking me through the account, right? Just some optimizations and things and budget pacing. And we just kind of started talking. He asked me about, so how did you get into this? And then I told him, oh, I was in college, I was studying this, and then I was working as a waiter, and then I wanted something else. And I took a course, and then it just worked out, and I just kept applying. He was like, "Hey, did that course, by the way, happen to be by this guy named Seth Himes?" He was like, "Dude," I was like, "Yeah," and then we started laughing because
That's
it
so
was so
great.
cool. It was such a cool moment, man. I had no idea that he was from your course. And then the next time that we did like budget pacing, he just started the pacing with all right, let's talk about pacing, which is you always say that in in the course. It was very funny.
That's so funny, man. That's how I ended up starting a lot of the videos in the course. And I was like
Yeah.
channeling Matthew McConaughey. Like, all right, all right, all right. Um, that's so funny too, because I just reconnected with Andrew and we're actually going to do an interview really
That's
soon.
awesome.
So we'll hear his side of the story very soon. So you said the pacing, that's awesome. Although you didn't even know he was in the course till just last week, but that's just incredible. Guys, that happens all the time. I'm like really proud of that and really happy to hear when that happens. So the pacing, that's another thing people are often concerned about, that you're going to be like thrown into the weeds and overwhelmed. The pacing was good. You're partnered with a senior analyst, Andrew. So you basically are able to ask questions and get support, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. During the whole time since the beginning, and even now they tell me like, hey, any questions, you let us know. Like at no point that I've been here for a month, and at no point I've ever felt like that I couldn't ask a question, that I couldn't ask a question, or that made feel like I should know something. Not at all. They're super nice, and then they always really they always tell me to ask any questions, or they always help me and stuff. It's really nice.
That's great, man. And what are you actually doing? Do you have your own accounts? Are you just sort of shadowing on accounts? Like how much budget are you working on?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be working with two accounts. One of them is around 70K, and then the other one is a huge account. It's like close to $1 million a month.
Wow. And what are you doing right now? Are you just kind of understanding it and watching the other guy work, doing some tasks maybe, or what are you actually doing on it?
Yep. So far I've been doing small tasks. Sometimes I do budget pacing for a certain one, and then I send what I did to my senior analyst, and then they look it over and make sure that it's okay. Also some campaigns. I upload campaigns. I've been learning about discovery campaigns
Hmm.
and Performance Max. I've heard about that too, and just making little reports, things like that. Still small. Probably in 2 weeks, I think I'll be ready.
That's amazing. So you not only, as I tell you guys in the webinar, he's getting trained. You understand? Like this is better than college. He's getting paid a lot of money to actually learn on the job. And these are the types of jobs you want to go for. Now, I have students who, I've students all different types of jobs. Some people end up at a company where they're doing all the digital marketing, so they have to take the lead. But these agencies, this agency in particular, the good ones, you can hear it. And he said, I've had two other students go over there to this agency. They understand about cultivating talent. And as I've said again and again in my walkthrough video, said when there's a lack of talent, like there is a lack of people with knowledge, they see you when you come out of the course as a valuable asset, just with your knowledge, and they're going to groom you and train you because they know now you're going to be able to manage X million dollars of budget, which translates to hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, it could be, in fees from the clients. So they're investing in Tito and training him because they know he's going to add value, or he's already adding value, but he's going to add even more value to their company. And again, these agencies also, you'll see it in the walkthrough videos, they do have good culture, and they do, the good ones, they have good culture, and they want to treat you well because they want Tito to be loyal, because they know that in the future, as he gets more and more experienced, he's going to be sought after by other agencies, and they're going to want to keep him happy, pay him well, keep the perks there, train him so that he wants to stay with this agency. And then, guys, you are like a professional basketball, football, or baseball player. You are an asset, and people, now recruit you. And then now this great example, Andrew, who I interviewed before, who was working at Target and then was making like 30,000, then 50,000. Now he's a senior analyst because he worked his way up. And obviously this agency offered him enough of an incentive to move over and work for them. So this is the process. So Tito, I'm excited for you because now you're just beginning this. We'll follow up with you in a year and beyond, and it'll be really exciting to see how you have progressed. The last thing, or one of the last things I like to ask, is just like how has this shifted your lifestyle in the last month or so? Your life, considering before was you were working two jobs plus college. What's your day-to-day like? How, what's your work-life balance like now?
It's awesome. I've worked as a waiter for a long time, and now I can actually have weekends to do whatever I want with. And I love to play soccer. And lately, since I started this new job, I've been playing a lot of soccer, and I'm seeing friends from like years ago that I used to play like in high school, and it's so nice to catch up. And I can visit my family and well, with my girlfriend like on the weekends, and I'm home holidays because when I used to work at the restaurant, I was always working holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. And it's just amazing to just the holidays and weekends to have. It's already a big change for me.
That's awesome, man. And then during the day, I mean, you really, you obviously you have to get your job done, but I mean, do you feel more relaxed just being able to be at home and do things kind of, on your own schedule, or how is that?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. As long as I get my work done, and of course, attend meetings, it's great. Nobody like micromanages me. Um, it's pretty chill.
That's so awesome, man. And you guys watching this, and I know I waited tables, I worked in offices. One of the worst, the tough things about those jobs, like if you're waiting tables, especially, it's super intense. Unless you're on the lunch shift where you won't make many tips anyway, you're constantly running around pressure, high pressure, get the food out, get to the, oh my God, I'm having like PTSD just thinking about it. And then in a lot of these office jobs or warehouse jobs, you heard about people being micromanaged and they don't have time to even think for themselves. So to have all this free time, and I'm very happy for you that you have your weekends back and can actually enjoy, something you like, playing soccer, meeting with friends. It's, the important thing. One of the things you've heard from so many of my students is the work-life balance that this skill set allows. And the salary. I mean, now I've seen, having visited the US again, I've seen how expensive everything has gotten. And I'm really happy that you have this, again, starting salary of 60K, which, guys, the most college graduates don't even make it to that even after 5 or 10 years in their careers. Most college grads who don't have an engineering degree, who are majoring in the humanities or psychology or whatever other nonsense, they're making like 30,000, like half of what you're making right out of the gate, because they don't have any skill set. So they try to just get like, a lot of them end up waiting tables or doing things like that. So you're already way ahead of people that have a degree and you're just starting. So I'm very excited to see what happens for you. I'm very happy for you, man. I appreciate you doing the interview. If I drop your LinkedIn, can people reach out to you if they have any questions about the course?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course.
Awesome, man. And just to wrap it up, is there anything you want to say to me or anybody who's watching the interview thinking about taking the course?
Yeah, to you, thanks so much, man. Your course has changed my life. Now, like, since I was a kid, I wanted to buy my mom a car, and now it's like it's gonna be a reality. I'm shooting for next year for Mother's Day. She won't see this video, so she doesn't know. It's still a surprise. So yeah, you changed my life. Your course is amazing. For anybody that hasn't taken the course, take it. I was in your spot. I had doubt, and I was because I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, is this a scam? And then I looked at the videos, and I'm like, there can't be this many testimonials for this guy. It can't. It has to be real. And take the course and listen to everything that's said in the course. Seth lays it out awesome. It teaches you the skills. It teaches you how to do your resume. The questions are in the resume, and there's an awesome Facebook group. If you get the course, be in the Facebook group. You can learn so much from there. And yeah, and then see you in maybe in an agency like my friend Andrew.
That's well said, man. Yeah, he said it right. And as you did, like I said, Tito, as I remember, the main thing is you really worked hard. You have to, relative to other career paths, like I said, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, it's obviously those are years and years and years it takes you to make what you're making. But this isn't overnight. You put in 2 months of intensely hard work. You had to learn the skills. You had to apply what I teach. And that's 90% of the time is, people in the course is like, I say, did you actually follow all of the instructions in the course? And if you do, that's how you get the results. But I really appreciate you sharing all that. And yeah, man. Yeah, it's great chatting with you. And you guys can feel free to reach out to Tito on LinkedIn. As you can see, he's obviously passionate about this, and I'm sure he'll answer any of your questions for you. Yeah. So thank you, Tito, for being here, and we will talk soon.
Perfect. Thank you, Seth.